Hi, I'm Madison, and for today's Explore Roundup, we have Cameron joining us.
Hi everyone, my name is Cameron Woods. I am a rising fourth year and I am a international affairs and economics major.
What are some of your favorite exploratory events?
Yeah, my favorite Explore program event would obviously be a New Horizons because I love having like student panels. And so what I love is like as a first year and even a second year when I was Explore student still, I would go to these and get to talk with like current students in the university about their like whether it be their majors and like their paths to degree, or it was just like about like getting involved in the community. So I really loved hearing from them about what they were doing and what they did once they declared a major and what path they took. And so I loved going to these. We also, when they were in person, we had pizza with them. So maybe eventually those come back. But I just loved hearing from current students rather than just kind of sitting in that classroom environment. And so that was one of the events that like I loved getting out and like having like it be on like my own time and like having to actually get like real input from students at the university.
How do the required first year Explore class connection decisions help you to shape your exploration process?
Yeah, what I loved about the connections and decisions class is it actually taught me more about the university than other first year courses did. Because connections and decisions is not just like a class where it's like you're only there to decide a major. The course is actually there to encourage you to explore possible majors, possible career paths, possible ways to involve on campus, just like also just like your self identity and self help. And so I love it's like an all encompassing class. And so that's what I loved. Like I would like go and be like, oh, like this is on campus. Like I should go to this event and see if I'm passionate about it, and like maybe that could be a major. Or I would plan my whole path, my whole 5 years throughout Northeastern. I'd be like, if I want to do this, my third year, blah blah blah. And so it really was like taught me so much about the university and like what I would be doing there. And I think it's funny that like my other friends who also had like the first year class, but they weren't in Explore and they didn't have connections and decisions, I've actually felt like they would be like, how do you know this much about the university? Like, how do you know that event's happening? Or how do you know you should be doing this? And I was like, oh, like connections and decisions, like we talked about it. Like they told me I should be exploring this and they like recommended this. And now like I came out of it with like actually a lot more knowledge than other of my friends had. So yeah, that's why I love it. It's not just like a class where it's like you need to decide a major now. It's like, you have time to decide. They want you to explore everything from your majors to your clubs, and that's why it like honestly it was an amazing class.
Have you participated in any global experiences?
Yeah, so I did NU in Sydney in the fall of 2017, a long time ago. Um, but that was an amazing experience because the NUN program is a program where about a third of the incoming class goes abroad for the first semester of college. And so you go abroad to all different cities. This year it's only going to be held in Boston and probably Dublin, Ireland. But when I went, it was an amazing experience because I got to go all the way to Australia, which I've obviously never been to before. And it was just an incredible experience where like we were taking classes at a world-renowned university, the University of Sydney, but also we were right next to like the Opera House and we were like downtown, and like I went to New Zealand for spring break, and it was just an environment where it was my first introduction like semester to college courses, and that was kind of hard as well, but also it was like I would literally go to Bondi and Manly Beach, which are like one of the best known beaches in the world, as I was like going to class every day. So that was like incredible, and I loved having an experience. Then to come back to Boston, which I'm from Boston, but it was still a different experience coming back to the spring semester, which I kind of call the winter semester, and it would be like snowy, and I'd be like trudging through campus, and like as it was snowing to get to my like 9 a.m. class, as I woke up like 5 minutes beforehand. So yeah, it was definitely a difference, but I loved having that experience of going abroad my first semester.
What is your favorite thing to do in Boston?
I love going to the Esplanade. So it's right along the Charles River on this side, on Northeastern side. And I just like love having that effect of seeing like the water and the river, and then just being able to like walk or even bike it. You can like rent blue bikes all around the city. And so I love doing that with friends where you can just like listen to music or walk. And then another thing also is the Boston Gardens. The Boston Commons and Boston Gardens are right next to each other, but just to be able to like sit down or like have a picnic with friends. I kind of just like love outdoor things where you can either walk to or hang out with friends there. So especially now, I love that, we're all trying to get out and do and explore new places. And so that's what I like love about Boston, how like there's so many like parks you can go to, or you can go through the Fens, which is like kind of a grass area by campus. You can walk through there and then go to Target or whatever. So especially now, I love going to the Esplanade.
Awesome. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.